Many of you would have this question. So, how real is this prospect of working with strangers? Because we are trying to accumulate people on a nationwide basis. So, you'll have your concerns as to whether you can work with strangers, what about the safety aspect and all. Look, when you join your kindergarten classes, you'll be in a classroom full of strangers, and the same happens when you graduate to your high school, your college, and eventually when you clear your job interview and get into an office building, it'll be filled with strangers. And if you move to a different country for either for studies or for your career, then again you'll get into a country filled with strangers. All along, you'll ensure that you'll make it a success. And just continuing on that, if you take arranged marriage for example, it's a classic case of two strangers getting married. Okay, now if these marriages can work, and if you can go to a foreign country and survive, and if you can join a new company filled with strangers and make your career a success, be assured that you can definitely start companies with strangers. I mean, you can venture out with these guys. And another way of dealing with this is, look, they'll have a social networking profile, they're going to have a professional networking profile, and you can ask for their resumes. Since you're going to venture out with them, you have every right to demand that. You can socialize, you can get to know each other, and probably over a period of time these strangers will become strategic business partners. Just think about this, you'll get some clarity. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is about the loan burden. See, many people consider a commercial loan as one of their options. The number one constraint being you need a collateral to get a loan, and second thing is commercial loans comes with an interest rate of anywhere between 12 to 24%. And if a small company takes about 1 crore of loan, then the interest burden, say at 18%, would be 18 lakhs a year and roughly 1.5 lakhs a month. And to this you add, let's say there are around 5 promoters who don't get paid obviously, and they recruit another 6 or 7 engineers who work along with them, and their salaries and everything put together comes to around say 3 lakhs. Then you have 4.5 lakhs as a monthly expenditure including interest burden, and say an operating expenditure of about another 50,000 administrative expenses, say it becomes 5 lakhs. Now 5 lakhs a month is the burden, and on an annual basis it's roughly about 60 lakhs. Now this kind of a 60 lakh burden is what is crushing many of the small companies. So commercial loan may not be the best of options, and the reason for mentioning this is again I would try to highlight that we are bringing guys in equity and sweat equity route. So this loan requirement can be either eliminated or probably can be taken strategically later down the line. Say if the company is performing well and they have good cash flows, and we can use this loan as for growth capital. Okay, we can still consider, and in case it is considered, we have options for collateral free loan and debt syndication. There seems to be an assumption by most people that whomever they want to connect with and people who really matter are all present online. Okay, if you're not making that assumption, good, but then if you're making it, let me assure you that not everybody who matter are present online. In fact, there are many people who refuse to come online. They're quite successful, and they've been successful for so many years, and they're quite good at what they're doing, but they're just not present online. Probably they just check their emails and nothing more than that. And I personally met many such people, and they don't have a liking towards uploading all their photos online and having the profile and so on and so forth. And in fact, if you clearly observe, in many cities there is something like an old boys club. These clubs can have any name in any city, but these clubs are filled with fairly successful people. Many of them have kids, grandkids, they're successful, they can invest, they can help you out strategically, they can do quite a lot of things, but they're not present online. There is a deep disconnect. 1-800-EXCHANGE recognizes this disconnect. If you're a working professional and if you don't want any of your higher ups to know about your plans or where you're trying to venture out, what you're trying to do, because this could be risky, You can lose your on-site rep, your promotions, your salary hike, probably all of them, the worst case being getting laid off. So if you're a working professional and if you need anonymity, or if you are someone in business and if you don't want your competitor to know about it, then we understand this need for anonymity. On this platform, we'll ensure that nobody will get to know about what you're trying to do. We will give you reasonable anonymity till a point where you feel that this anonymity may not be required anymore. The fear of getting cheated by others when you try to venture out with them. Now be real with your fears. Of course you can get cheated if you're not careful, but then it's possible to eliminate that kind of a situation and you can ensure that you're not cheated. Let me give you a few examples. Let us say you start a college with a few other people. Now you know how your staff strength, how many people and how many students in each class. In fact, there's a perfect record of all this. Okay, now it's really difficult to get cheated. I mean, you can get cheated to a very small extent in this administrative expenses and stuff, but your focus should be more on starting one other school or college and moving forward rather than being worried about that minuscule loss. And even if you take an automobile showroom, then you can clearly know when a bike or a car is sold. And there is perfect inventory tracking here, even if you take up Foodworld more or any such business. And if you start an IT company, you know how many engineers work for you and you know the billing rates. Most of the things are known. I mean, it's very difficult to get cheated. Just collect your thoughts on this and be rational with your fears. Another key concern would be that of safety. Like if you're venturing out with others, how safe can the venture be? And as a promoter of this platform, this is what I have to say. See, we are not trying to start any venture in a hurry, nor are we behind statistics. What we are trying to do here is we'll try to build a proper business case. We'll try and accumulate people, find out their interests, we group them, and we let them interact with each other, find out each other's interest. And once they're comfortable with most of the things, then we try to evolve a business plan, which will then be scrutinized by a business consultant, and we refine the plan. Finally, when it's completely ready, that is when we try to form the venture. And when we're trying to form a venture, it's a standard process. For example, if you're floating a private limited company, we follow the process and ensure that everything is in order. Nowhere in the whole chain of activities do we encourage verbal agreements. Like someone says, I'm interested in it, you start up and I'm going to phase in eventually and give the equity or whatever they promise. Now we do not encourage any kind of verbal assurance. If someone is really serious about starting a venture, we take all the details, and when we allow them to meet others, we try and ensure that it is happening as per plan. Okay, nothing is left to chance factor here. We ensure that all participants are at the same level of understanding at all points of time before they float the venture.